when you're having these conversations with these people, right, that your elders or whatever, I want you to really listen to them while they're telling you that Kamala is not a good fit. I want you to really listen to them. Listen to the words they're saying. You hear words like strong enough or weak or emotional, or, really listen to them, because they're just telling you in so many words that they're sexist. And that's interesting, because the women are not weak enough to raise children. The women are not weak enough to be single mothers. Y'all feeling like that so bad, but advantage y'all kids. Y'all 10 kids. Well, all the mothers. So she was strong enough to raise all them kids on her own and go to work and do this and that and that and that. But she's not strong enough to, a black woman is not strong enough to run the country. Careful now, y'all showing y'all misogyny. I'm getting concerned.
I see both sides like you know. See on both sides like you know.
Hello, everyone. This is Miss Dee, Both Sides of a Podcast. Hello, how are you today? I hope you're doing great, because there's a lot going on in this world. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to just get right into it because I don't want to waste y'all time. Okay. I'm trying to keep this at an hour or less. All right. Trying to reel it in. Okay. So the purpose of today's episode, just gonna get right into it. So we're gonna talk about politics today, right? And the purpose of today's episode, I'd like to talk about politics for the people who are not politicians, like the working class, the middle class. If you guys are anything like me, I am a truck driver. I cannot be on my phone. Okay. And sometimes it's even hard for me to find a credible source on the internet or a credible YouTube video to listen to and kind of give me the breakdown, part by part. Okay. And then in language that I understand. I'm not a politician. I don't have time for all this. All I know is that there's people in the office, they make decisions, and I'm just not a politician. I've been really, working to do my research for the last week so that we can talk about it on a more, digestible, term or whatever. But I'm not a politician. Once again, I don't claim any party. Okay. This whole presidential election, I'm just like a lot of people worried about me. Okay. I'm worried about me and my family and how the things up top affects me on a personal level, a citizen level. Okay. So that is my purpose for today's episode. So we're going to talk about what's going on in the world as of, let's see, what's today's date? This video will be released on July 30th, 2024. So these researches and whatever that is done by the 28th. Okay. Because it seems like there's developments every freaking day. So that is the goal today. All right. We're going to talk about it. Maybe I'll do a part 2 later, as this campaign and election goes on. But I kind of want to break down a few things. All right. All right. I felt like that was a long introduction, but maybe I got everything that I was supposed to say in there. Anyway. So, yes, I am Miss Dee, in case it's your first time here. Truck driver, single mom, black woman, middle class, the whole shebang, all right? So I'm not no welfare chicken head, none of that, all right? I just want to make sure that my stances, you guys are understanding, is neutral and realistic, all right? All right, boom. Moving right along. So I have done research. Let's talk about what I've done research on. I've done research on the presidential debate. I actually watched that in full and took notes. I've done research on Kamala Harris. I've done research on her background and her career. I also did research on what Project 2025 is. If you guys have heard that term a couple times in the last couple weeks, me too. And I was like, what the heck is this? All right. I would try to insert clips from celebrities because everybody's getting involved in this election, apparently. Okay. even before Kamala announced that she was running. Okay, so before I get into my research, I want to go based off what I learned. Here is my opinion is what of what's been going on. Okay, so remember when we found out that Biden was rerunning for election? I don't watch the news. I just literally happened to walk past a TV at work and saw some statistics and polls of Biden versus Trump in battleground states. Battleground states means there are some states during each election, each campaign that could sway from either Republican or Democrat. So I guess, they call those battleground states or swing states. That's what they call that. So I saw that, in each campaign, they focus on those states so they could understand, how it's looking. Anyway, I saw that Biden was losing to Trump, right? In the polls, as far as favoritism, as far as being able to do the job, so on and so forth. I saw that he was losing. And when I first saw that, I figured it was just, is what I'll say. I figured that's how it should be. And the reason why, as a base level citizen, is because I'm like, damn, what we've been going through under the Biden administration, just like I said, on a personal level, like me and my household, it's like, first of all, I have never seen more aggressive and a more aggressive campaign for Biden. Okay. When I tell you they was knocking on doors, texting my phone every day, calling me, it was crazy. Okay. It was crazy. And I thought that was very alarming that they could get so in your personal life like that. So, to try to get your vote, that was aggressive. And I didn't think anything was more aggressive than his campaign to be president until it was time to get those shots. Okay. When it was time to get those shots because they were trying to get things under control, that was even more aggressive. Now, I want to be transparent with you guys. I do believe some platforms, I'm not allowed to speak about a certain viral, virus incident crisis that happened a few years ago, that caused us to wear a mask. So we're just going to call it the crisis, okay? Because I don't think we're allowed to talk about that, on a public, whatever. I don't know. Don't ask me no questions. So yes, when it was time to get those shots in our arms for that crisis, it was probably one of the most scariest times. I just feel like, when it comes to measles, mumps, the HPV shots, certain other vaccinations that we were supposed to get from childhood or whatever, I feel like they've done years of studies on that. Okay, so I would allow my child to get those, vaccinations because, first of all, they're required, in order for her to go to school or really do anything in life. And second of all, because there was plenty of research done by the time I was alive. But to see something so new that you want me to put in my body and then put in my child's body, and the way you are being so aggressive about it, it was scary as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like a man coming up to me and demanding intercourse from me, and I don't know him like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how it felt. Like, I don't know you like that. Like, why are you trying to put your thing in my body? Like, what is going on? So that is what it felt like to me. It felt like dangerous, if that makes sense. And I didn't do my research on this whole Fauci case or whatever, but to see that things are being questioned and you guys are trying to criminalize this man who we were supposed to all be listening to, even on the news and under Trump administration. Okay, this is the man we was listening to under Trump administration. Am I wrong or am I right? Please let me know if this is misinformation. But this is a man that was all over the news, and this is America's doctor at the time, and this and that. And we're listening to this man over the news, and to see you guys are now bringing criminal charges against him lets me know I made the right decision to not get that shot. Knowing that money was behind it, money and greed was behind this. Like I said, I did not do all my research on it. I just kind of looked at it in passing. You know, it's alarming. It's alarming. And then obviously the shots were aggressed in Biden's administration. So, you know, I have many thoughts about that. But like I said, I can't really get into it. So we're just going to move on. But to see that you guys were so aggressive, this is the main issue I have in Biden's administration. To see that you guys were extremely aggressive with those shots, to the point where people were losing their jobs. People were threatened. I know people, like, it was serious. Like, and it was actually, I don't know if it was some type of vote or something, that truckers were not mandated to get the shot. And then it was also talked about in school systems, if the children were going to be mandated to get the shot. It was a crazy time. It was. And now, not only did they want you to get the initial shot, but now you got to get 18 boosters after. And apparently they're just injecting this crisis in your body over and over again as it mutates. And yeah, that's the biggest issue I had under Biden's administration. Now, I believe certain things were put in place for Biden to fail. Okay. I haven't done all the research on this, but from my understanding, I should probably do the research on it. But this is an opinion. This is an opinion, okay? I could be wrong. Please fact check me. But from my understanding, the House of Representatives were mainly Republican, right? Under Biden's administration, which means the House of Representatives are the ones that pass bills, who votes on certain whatever. Everything is not done by the president in a snap of his finger. So I believe certain things were passed under Biden's administration that was set up by Trump before Biden got into office. Things like Roe v. Wade. No. See, in the presidential election, in the presidential election, Trump was saying that he gave the states the right to, overturn it or not. Yes, so it was done under Trump's administration. And so there are 14 states across the nation that 100% banned, and there are others who it depends on certain restrictions or whatever. Okay, my bad. I shouldn't have spoken that because I didn't have all the facts. However, Roe v. Wade was done by the hands of Trump. And he gave the states the rights to vote if they wanted it in their states or not, if they wanted to force it, implement it, so on and so forth. That is what happened. Because I was trying to think about the presidential election. But yes. All right. Another one more opinion before I get into, the grunt of things is I believe that when Biden was running, we all was, I guess everybody in the Democratic Party and people who are not really 100% on Trump's side, we were just saying, hey, you should probably step down. And he kept writing on these letters like, oh, I'm not stepping down. I believe this was specifically orchestrated so that all the bad stuff, all the hard work, all the grunt of things could happen while Biden was the presidential nominee. And he always planned to step down. That's what I think. I believe he always planned to step down, always planned on all of that, all of this. I just think it was orchestrated. You know what I'm saying? I believe he did the hard work. He did what he had to do. He accepted the nomination, all of that, just so he can endorse the vice president, because so she wouldn't have to go through the hard work of getting endorsed by the party or so on and so forth. Yes, I believe he did all the hard work, which is genius, because honestly, would the Democratic Party be ready for a quote unquote black woman to be their main nominee? In August, they still have a right to decide who they want to be their nominee, but it's looking very strong to be Kamala. The Bidens have endorsed her. Several members of the party have endorsed her. The president has endorsed her. It's a lot going on. So it looks like is going to be the presumptive nominee, right? We always hear that word presumptive. That just means it's looking likely that she is going to be the nominee. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm doing a lot of thinking while I'm doing this episode, which is good, but I don't know if it's that good because it's not coming off flowing how I envisioned it to be. Okay. Yes, I believe he did that on purpose, and so that way her hands could be clean of any whatever. The fact that the Trump trial is passed, the fact that the debate is passed, he gave her really a layup to this nomination. Okay, yeah, that's what I think. I think he really gave her a layup, which is genius, because a lot of people, they're not ready for her to be, a president. Wonder if, that's right. Okay, my bad. All right. So let's get into some concerns we may have, okay? I did take a lot of notes. I do have my computer here on my side, okay? I was doing my best, baby. I was doing my best. Okay. So here, let's just start off with the presidential debate, okay? Here are some key takeaways and concerns I may have. Some of these are facts, some of these are fiction. I'm sorry, not fiction. I apologize. Some of these are fact and some of these are opinion, and I will try my best to tell you guys what is my opinion versus what is the fact. So the fact is, during the presidential debate, Trump brought up that Biden sent about $200 billion to Ukraine and the wars overseas altogether. And Biden rebuttal was that the $200 billion was worth weapons, $200 billion is worth of weapons, and that's not $200 billion cash, which I thought was super important. And the reason I thought was super important is because we keep hearing that this is opinion now, we keep hearing that this man has sent all this money to other countries, and the first thing we think about is, what about our homeless? What about our veterans? What about the welfare system? What about the inflation? What about this and that? We are thinking about ourselves first, which is normal, because I was thinking about that too. I said, what the fuck up? Actually, in one of my episodes, I said that. I said, damn, you send all this money overseas. I'm out here fighting for my life. Like, we don't even got free childcare. Da, 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 da. So I thought it was important to point out, because I was also concerned. Me, the people. I was also concerned. Okay, another small, quick opinion I have. I was having plenty of conversations all week with people. One of the main things someone said to me was, as far as this 200 billion thing, when I said it's 200 billion in weapons and not cash, they said, well, what about our veterans? And what about the people that are homeless? And here was my response to him. The people that are out there homeless, literally sleeping on the streets right now, most of them are suffering from mental health or on drugs, right? That's what I said to him. And then he goes and thinks about it. And I said, even the veterans, veterans seem to be well taken care of. You guys get money every month, right? You get free health care. I'm assuming that means free therapy. You got centers that is set up for veterans, right? So if you don't do the right thing with that money, or you're suffering from mental health because of the war, or you're suffering from drug use because of the war, that is different. I know veterans who is not suffering in my family and friends who is not suffering. They use their money to where they need it to go, to housing, to vehicle, to children, whatever. Okay. There are veterans out there that is not suffering. I'm going to go out on a limb. Once again, fact check me if needed. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the veterans are taken care of as long as they have their state of mind. Okay. Now, granted, if you have mental illness, maybe you had an injury that, restricts your movement or restricts your cognitive thinking, that is another thing. But the veterans have what they need for the most part, which is money and health care. That's really what you need. And then obviously you got jobs out here that are specifically for veterans, including at my company, my trucking company, jobs and all of that. The veterans, I just think from what I'm seeing, is cool. The people that are literally outside sleeping in tents have mental health issues or drug use. There's nothing, there's only but so much you could do for people with drug use. There's only but so much you can do. The people out there are shaking cups in the middle of the street. Once again, mental health or drug use. And so how much of our resources do you think should go towards people at some capacity who don't want to be helped? Some of these people do not want to be helped. Okay? Seriously. So when I hear about this homeless thing, we just make it seem like the resources aren't out there, like shelters aren't out there. And I get it, the shelters are full. I understand that very well. We're acting like the jobs are not out there. We're acting like resources are out there, welfare and 5-7-step programs, 12-step programs for the drug. You know what I mean? So I believe a lot of this is really depending on the exact person. Do they want help? Do they want to be better? Do they want to move forward? Do they want to just go rent out a room and go get a job instead of staying in a shelter? You know what I'm saying? There are people out here who want things handed to them. And because of those people, that's why a lot of the working class is on Trump's side, because he's lowering taxes and he's more in favor of, in my opinion, the people who have money or is rising in the financial ladder. I don't know. So all that being said, there are resources out here, but there's a balance. There's a balance between making sure those who's going out there to get it is able to, have whatever. And then there's a balance between not just giving all our resources to the people who need Narcan or the people who are too far gone cognitively to receive the help that they need. Okay, moving right along. I'm not doing this episode again, so I just gonna we go edit, and keep it moving. Amen. Okay, the next thing that was sticking out to me. Okay, this is a fact. During the presidential election, Trump repeatedly kept saying if he was in office, Putin's behavior wouldn't be what it is now, as far as the war and so on and so forth. And also says he can settle anything with Putin very quickly, including the war. Opinion. Baby, what do you mean? I was very concerned. This is one of the most interesting things that stuck out to me, because that made me think, do you mean that you have this man in your pocket so much? Do you have Putin in your pocket so much that in the snap of your finger in a conversation, you could just end what's going on overseas? And if so, why aren't you doing that now? The second interesting thing is, didn't this all start after Trump got out of office? So I got a little concerned that if Trump and Putin are truly the friends that, they're saying they are, was this possibly done as a political, was this done politically to show that, Trump is stronger, or, an outrage that he's not in office anymore? That stuck out to me. Why do you feel like you are so close with this man that you could end a war in a snap of a finger and a small conversation? That was interesting. Now, I could be wrong. There could be something else going on with it, but I'm just saying this is what it looked like to me. You have this man in your pocket so much, you should have just ended it. No? You should have just ended it. He said before he even gets in office, he could end the war. And I'm concerned. So it's not that you're not because you're not the president type of thing, I guess. It's not that, you're not the president, so you can't dare to be in his ear. But you said before you get in office, you could end it. So why not just end it now? Is anybody else wondering the same thing? Am I tripping? That stuck out to me. Next thing stuck out to me in the presidential election. Biden says Pence and other staff does not support Trump in 2024 re-election campaign. And I was wondering why. But when I went to Trump's Instagram, when I went to Pence's Twitter, I did not find that right now. What I found is that he's still a Republican. That's what I found. So, yeah. I didn't have any findings of that, but that's what Biden said in the presidential debate. Last thing that stuck out to me, Biden says he is only supporting Israel because of NATO, Section 5, that says if anyone attacks one, they attack all. America is partly so strong because of its allies. Okay, opinion. I thought that was important for Biden to say as well. This was very important to say during the presidential debate, because that's another thing I was concerned about. Aside from the money that you're sending, why is it that you are supporting countries overseas? Now, I understand they are our allies, and it's important to support your allies. It's kind of like a support system when you're having, It's kind of like a support system when you have a child. Sometimes you might have to give somebody a little extra gas money to get to work, just so that when you scratch their back right now, that they could scratch your back later. I'm very understanding of that. I thought it was very important for him to mention, because we were also wondering that. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's like, we want everything to stop. We wanted to stop overseas. And, we were just a little confused. You know what I mean? But what's important is that the American people, we're not in these rooms where these conversations are happening. We are not making these decisions. We are not, in the scoop, I guess. We're not, you know what I mean? Obviously, there's some things that they're keeping from us at all times. So, I guess it's just based on trust. Based on trust and what the heck we you know what I mean? Who we trust, but we can't trust none of them because they all liars. All right, we're right along. I want to insert a clip that Yandy Smith said.
Okay, so before I made this video, I really wanted to count the cost, do some research, listen, and be slow to speak. And I'm going to be really transparent as well. When Biden dropped out the race, I was immediately fearful. Not because I loved the way he ran the country, not because I was 100% convinced that I even wanted to vote in his favor. I'm kind of like, where the independents at? But after really sitting back and thinking about the past 400 years in this country, who has ran it, because it's been ran for the most part majority by old white men. And this country has done us no justice as people of color. That I want something different. Now here's the thing. I feel like Kamala has really done her best with the confines of economics, with the confines of still having to be under the regime of the white men that have come before her and that stands before her. But I think that there's a lot of propaganda around her. I think that there's a lot of misinformation. I think that we have to stop jumping at the first things we hear. Of course, we heard while she was Attorney General, she locked up all these black men for marijuana. But when you sit and you think and you listen and you read and you hear the numbers don't sound as crazy as they have been portrayed to us for several years. You got to really sit and do your research. You really got to figure out what is the story behind everybody. Her job as the Attorney General was to fight crime, right? So that's first. But then really think about the numbers. We were told she locked up thousands and thousands and thousands of people. It was 1,900 people that got locked up, and not all was convicted. 45 were convicted. Like, come on. Let's really sit and do our research before we start talking and before we start running numbers down. There's some videos that really debunked some of the things that I have been thinking and things that I have been hearing. But I had to sit back and really blame myself because I wasn't doing the research. I was listening to the internet, and you know the internet, not even the internet. The internet is everybody with their inside opinions, their inside little group chats where they just come up with certain things without really taking the time to do the research, pull the facts. And that's what we got to start doing. We got to start pulling the facts.
So boom, Yandy Smith basically said that we need to do our research, right, on Kamala. Because when we first heard that Kamala is running, the expression I felt was confusion, right? Confusion, but relief. Once again, I am not a Democrat and I am not a Republican. I am an independent, nonpartisan is what they call it. That means that I don't represent either major party. When I heard that she was running, I was a little confused because the first thing I thought was, damn, I don't really know her. And honestly, I don't know any of them now that I think about it. I hear about Trump, right? Because be honest, when you're hearing about Trump, a part of it sounds like reality TV. Like it kind of feels, it's entertainment. He's entertaining 100%. And there's some things that, you know, he says that the American people want to hear, like protect the border, like lower the taxes, like all of this stuff, right? We want to hear that because that affects us personally, right? But I say I know a little bit more about Trump than I know about the other presidents. And obviously, we know a little bit more about Biden because of what was put on Front Street by Trump and his campaign, who was whoever. So on and so forth. Okay, to the point. I didn't know this woman, so I was like, let me look it up. Because the only things that we hear about her is that she has a high conviction rate from when she was a prosecutor, and that she doesn't really like the blacks. Now, I don't understand. I don't even know where that came from, but I remember hearing that from when she became vice president. But did we care? Did we care enough to look her up? Probably not. We just, a lot of times we go with the rumors and that's it. Because we don't, okay, who cares? That's not her, whatever she eat don't make me shit. That's what I was thinking. So I was like, I'm not about to look her up. You know what I mean? Biden was the vice president. He was under Obama. It's kind of a allegiance thing. I don't know. Whatever. We felt like Biden was the closest we can get to President Obama. And that feels like that wasn't the case. That feels like that wasn't the case. And I will tell you that, you know, I already told you. The aggressive campaigning and aggressive get the shot or you're going to lose your job and you can't go to certain outings, they alienized us. Is that what it's called? Alienated? I'm sorry. They alienated us. They alienated us. We couldn't go to outings with our friends. We couldn't go nowhere. We couldn't go to movie theaters. We couldn't go. It was crazy. Comedy clubs. They alienated us and they made us feel like Negroes again. They honestly did. Even the people, listen, if you were non-black and you did not take the shot or the booster and you were wondering how it felt to be discriminated against and how it felt to divide our country, that was a perfect example. If you felt like it's like the coloreds only, the whites only water fountain, that's what it felt like. That is what it felt like when I didn't get that goddamn shot or that booster, honey. So that was interesting. But I'm a loner anyway. Yeah. But I will say that instance really, I feel like, traumatized America. The amount of social anxiety I have, the amount of trust, the amount of just anxiety in the government in general, I feel like they're capable of this was a scary time. That's all I will say. It was a scary time, but like I told you before, we're not allowed to talk too much about it on some of these platforms, so I'll move along again. Okay, so yes, the rumors we heard about Kamala is that she has high incarceration rates. A newer rumor that's coming around is not only does she incarcerate these people, black people specifically, at a high rate, and only because of marijuana. She had, they said, thousands of convictions for blacks alone, only for marijuana, as she was a prosecutor. And then they said that she laughed about it as if it was funny or whatever, laughed in their faces or whatever. I would like to give some context to that today, because I was also confused. Like I said, we could only go based on the rumors, and then these major platforms, they don't really tell you everything because they have their own stakes in it. Maybe they're being paid, maybe they're a part of a certain party, maybe they have an agenda, and so on and so forth. Miss Dee don't have an agenda. Miss Dee is worried about Miss Dee and her family, as like a lot of us. Okay, we're worried about what happens at a base level, at our level, eye level. What's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? Okay. As far as the thousands of imprisonments, so she was a district attorney from 2004 to 2011. She was attorney general from 2011 to 2016, and she was a Senate from 2017 to 2021, all in the state of California. So as far as the convictions, she sent approximately 1,974 for marijuana-related convictions. And I believe as the district attorney, these are two different terms. Believing. Not 100%. But I think as district attorney, you're right. I shouldn't be thinking, right? That's awful. But this is my research. But I'm right. I wrote it down. I wrote it down, and I don't remember. Anyway, it says her attorneys secured 1,956 misdemeanors and felonies. So I'm thinking, isn't that what a district attorney? You're right. That's what I'm saying. I don't be into politics. I don't be into that. Listen, if I was one of those people on the street and they tell me something, what are the three branches of government? I'll be looking at you, huh? Although now we know it's legislative, executive, and judicial. But I really learned that again because of watching social media. So anyway, nonetheless, that is Kamala's career. So when we're thinking about is she fit for the job, my answer is yes. She was the district attorney, attorney general, and a Senate, and she held those for years. See, a lot of all you have to do is Google this stuff, by the way. But a lot of people or websites, whatever, they don't mention her stances. They don't mention the fact that she's against the death penalty. They don't mention, that clip from 2014. If I could find it, I'll insert it. They don't mention her stance on, the incarceration rates of blacks. They don't mention any of that. The main thing they're mentioning is what I just explained to you, which is Oh, she locked up thousands. Then when you think thousands, you're thinking between 5 and 10. Am I wrong? I'm thinking mass. But these numbers, right? The 1,974, that is in a 5-year period as Attorney General. So real quick, hey Siri. Hey Siri. How many months is in 5 years?
That would be 60 months.
Hey Siri. What is 1,974 divided by 60?
The answer is 32.9.
So you're telling me she approximately... Okay, I'm not making excuses for this woman, okay? So anyway, you're telling me that this woman incarcerated approximately 32 to 33 people per month, each month. That's 1.5 person a day, less than 1.5 person a day. Okay? All of that being said, see, I'm tripping. I've been drinking this wine. Don't mind me. All that being said, we're making it seem like she did 400 a month, 200 a month. Now, granted, a big thing that I thought about, I was like, damn, I asked Google. I said, damn, well, who else matches her numbers? Like, according to her peers in other states, what matches her numbers? You know what the hell I found? I'm going to tell you what I found. Let's see. I found that in major states, I bought it down in my thing, but I remember, don't worry about it. I found in major states, the conviction rates are higher. Where it's more populated, where it's more densely populated, you know who matched her numbers? The Attorney General of Baltimore, the Attorney General of Chicago, the Attorney General of Philadelphia. Okay, so we're talking about people that's in major states, and it's one other state, another one in Los Angeles. So the major counties, states, whatever, they're going to have higher numbers, and not because they're just meaner, but there's more people there, there's more crimes there. Does that make sense? Like, can we just put our thinking caps on for 1 second? Like, be serious. Now, granted, I'm not saying I agree with that, but we don't know every single case. Okay, we do not. We don't know what's going on. We don't know if these marijuana related convictions could be DWIs, could be breaking their parole, could be failed drug tests. We don't know what's going on. Okay, honestly. So, like, I'm not going to say I'm 100% in agreeing with her, but if we could just take a second to figure out what all this means, that'll be helpful, right? We want to be educated, I thought. Okay, let's look up. So that was one of the major concerns that people had, okay? So like I said, when I was nervous, and I was like, who the hell is Kamala? So here's who Kamala is. She's approximately 59 years old, which is, what is that? 20 something years younger than Trump, 20, maybe 30 years younger than Biden. I can't remember their exact ages. I know they're both in their 80s. And this woman is 59. She's been married since 2014 to a white man who was also, I think, a former law firm associate, something like that. Okay. She doesn't have any children. She just has 2 stepchildren. See, I was going to say, I was having this debate earlier this week, and they were saying about, if they would think that she could handle it. And I was like, oh, black mothers can handle anything. And I realized maybe she's not a black mother. So that's interesting. What I also realized is that, are we considering Kamala black? She is part Asian and Indian, I believe. Because we were all wondering, this woman is pretty light. But people consider her as black, but she's not really black. So before you guys even say, oh, black woman this, black woman that, these people aren't fully black. So you're going to be fine. We were wondering, oh, black woman this, black woman that. But she's not African American. She's not dark skinned. See, we were looking for Michelle Obama to come into office, and she did not. You know, she just instead gave her endorsements. So that's interesting. But let's look up what her ethnic background is. See, they said she is South Asian. Both of her parents were immigrants, right? Her father, Donald Harris, and her mother, her mother died in 2009, I believe. And they were both immigrants. Damn, I'm trying to figure out where it's from. Oh, a Jamaica-born father and an Indian-born mother. Okay, she is black. She is black. I didn't know her dad was Jamaican. I thought they were. Well, why did they say South Asian? That's so confusing. Anyway, so many things going on that we don't know what's going on. We don't. Anyway, another major question that came up from the people is, what has she done as vice president? So when we did look up what she has done as vice president, a lot of things we see on the internet is, the Biden-Harris administration, they joined them together on their accomplishments and everything. And we're talking about gun violence this, gun violence that. What the hell? Damn, you know, it was all right there. I just did all my research before I came here. Anything that Biden has accomplished, they're giving credit to Harris. Now, they're saying that her main job was border control. Damn, it was border control and something else. Whew, this is a lot of research. This is why I don't like to do these topics too much. I like to do topics on lifestyle and personal experiences because I could just talk about those freely. I don't have to just look up information and all that. Now, granted, I do my research. I do, but this is a lot. So there's that. Once again, not a politician and not even a political commentator at all. I'm just a regular hoe. No. I'm just a regular hoe out here in these streets. Regular, schmeckler. What Cardi say? Shoot. I'm just a regular bitch from the Bronx. No, I'm from Philly though. So anyway, nonetheless, see, I get distracted. See, I'm more of a comedy kind of This is all too serious for me. Okay, so boom. They're saying, what did she do? And there's also saying that she failed. She was supposed to primarily assigned to do border control, and she failed. That's what they're saying, she failed. Now, also they said, which is confusing, they also said that she could be, what did they say? Crucial. What the hell? Scrutinized. That's the word. They could be scrutinized. She could be scrutinized from one of her comments she made during one of her press releases or something, where she said, no, don't come over the border, or whatever she said, something along those lines. She was telling people, don't come over the border. Okay. Don't try to cross the lines. So we're saying she failed at border control because of the people that were, in New York and getting hotels and so on and so forth. People who are seeking asylum from whatever is going on across seas, or don't even have all the information on that. Once again, I'm a working citizen. Do I have to pay more taxes? Like, that's what I be worried about. Is we bringing food out of my child's mouth? That's the type of shit I be worried about. But nonetheless, they're saying that she failed at it because we had those people in New York who were in hotels and they were given food cards and a right to work. I can't remember exactly everything, but they were just being pampered for whatever reason. I don't remember where they came from. Please put in the comments if you guys remember where they came from, or you could put your feelings about it. But this is why they're saying that she failed. Okay. But then I wondered, which I forgot to look up, is I was wondering what any vice president did. And I did look it up, but I did forget. So we're going to look it up real quick right now. What did Pence do? All right. They're saying that Pence chaired National Space Council following its reestablishment in 2017, as well as the White House Crisis, can't say that word, task force which established in early 2020 in response to the crisis. So to me, it sounds like vice presidents don't do much is what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at. What are they really supposed to do? That was one of the concerns we had, is what the hell did she do? Okay, so another thing, this is an opinion, another thing that really interests me about, having these conversations, throughout the week and whatnot, is someone said to me, they had the audacity to say that they do not believe that Kamala Harris is strong enough. Did you hear that? They said that she's not strong enough. They said Kamala is not strong enough to stand against world leaders, to be having these conversations. She's not strong enough. And whatever the fuck do you mean by that is what I wanted to ask them. So, me as a woman who's facing diversity in a male dominated field like trucking, I looked him in his eyes while driving my truck and he wasn't. And I was wondering, whatever the fuck do you mean by that? So he started to break it down. He didn't want to get too much into it because, politics is a touchy subject, for plenty. So he didn't want to get too much into it. But I figured that there are a lot of men is saying that. Now, careful now, guys. You don't want to show that you're misogynistic to a great extent. You don't want to show the sexism you have deep buried in your heart. You don't want to show that now. Careful. I urge you guys, the people who are not sexist, or the people who are not really got no dog in this fight except for their own family, those people, do me a favor. When you're having these conversations with these people, right, that your elders or whatever, I want you to really listen to them while they're telling you that Kamala is not a good fit. I want you to really listen to them. Listen to the words they're saying. When you hear words like strong enough or weak or emotional, or, really listen to them, because they're just telling you in so many words that they're sexist. And that's interesting. Because the women are not weak enough to raise children. The women are not weak enough to be single mothers. Y'all feeling like that so bad, but abandoned y'all kids. Y'all 10 kids were all the mothers. So she was strong enough to raise all them kids on her own and go to work and do this and that and that and that. But she's not strong enough to. A black woman is not strong enough to run the country. Careful now, y'all showing y'all misogyny. I'm getting concerned. So you want to be careful of the people that you're listening to when you're having these real conversations about politics and about Kamala and about who's going to be the president next. Be careful. Then you have these people who are worried about, Trump. At least I can get a little bit of money. At least I can get a little bit of money. Listen to those people too. Who are they? Are you working at the local McDonald's talking about a stimulus? Now, am I tripping? Guys, please let me know. Am I tripping? Or were your taxes fucked up for the year 2021, 2022? Well, am I tripping? Maybe not 2022. Your taxes have been fucked up for the last 2 years. Am I tripping? Or the stimulus checks that we're talking about, we're talking, what was it, $1,200, $25, some shit like that. Couldn't have been no more than $2,500. These stimulus checks that we're talking about, you guys understand that was your tax money for real. A part of that was your tax money. And I believe that the year 2021, a lot of our taxes was messed up and we were owing. Am I tripping? I could be tripping. Let me know. I think that's the year I became a truck driver, but I was only a truck driver for fucking 3 months. So I'm confused. Let me know. Am I tripping? Let me know. Let me know. That was good. That was good. That was good. But the money that y'all pressed about, that was money you were owed. That was a part of your taxes. The unemployment, that was a scam. That was some bullshit. I'm not gonna lie. That was some bullshit. I do know that. That was definitely some bullshit. I actually worked during the pandemic. So I will be telling my grandchildren that I was a real ass nigga and I held it down. POP held it down. Yeah, and I wasn't no pussy on a couch head ass. Yep, I will be telling my grandchildren that. Then you had the PPP that they still locking people up on, apparently. They locking people up over that, apparently, so I don't know what that's about. That's the money y'all talking about. Y'all talking about fraudulent money. Y'all talking about the early tax money y'all got and all that. Now, this money that we're talking about, right? You have to keep in mind that in 2019, Trump allegedly had word that this issue was happening in China. The crisis was happening in China. And did nothing. Oh, that's happening over there. It's no problem, It's happening over there. It's fine. It's fine. Had word that it was happening, did nothing about it, waited till it got to us. This is why it's called 19 and not 2021 or nothing like that. They called it 19. So he had the whole year, if not part of the year of 2019, allegedly, to get ahead of this crisis, and he did not. He neglected this crisis. Waited till it got over here. Fauci said, cha-ching, cha-ching, figured out whatever he had to do to be a part of it, whatever, I don't know. We're trying to figure out if this is a political stance or what. Once again, can't talk about this too much, I'm trying to tread lightly. But was your plan to off older citizens and the weak for population control possibly, or to save money in Social Security? All those people that was getting Social Security, they're gone. A lot of them, you had to do some budget cuts, and that was a way of your budget cut. Can't talk too much about it, like I said, but these are the thoughts. These are my thoughts. These are my thoughts. So back to what I was saying. He allowed this to come over here, allowed it to become a problem, didn't become bad against it at all. Now we all scrambling to get masks, unprepared. Then we left, like Biden said in the presidential debate, we were left, a mess of a crisis, and then had to do what we could to whatever. Tisk, tisk, tisk. We're all screwed. But on a more serious note, to close this out, I hope I gave you guys enough information. Please, if you learn anything during this video at all, like this video, please. Or dislike it. If you feel like, girl, you ain't do your fact checks enough, dislike the video. Subscribe. Join my membership. You never know, I might have an extra little video in there, talk about what I just said, So, anyway, this was a lot of information. It's hurting my head a little bit. You guys, if you're new here, I do not like to think. I like everything to just flow on this podcast. I like to have a good time, but today, look at my eyes. It's draining me. But I wanted to talk about this, because it's out here, and we wanted to get the information right, and we wanted to learn a little bit about what's going on. So to end this off, one thing I noticed about Kamala is that I don't see any scandals. The biggest scandal I see is that they're saying that she incarcerated a lot of people, at which Andy Smith said this was her job. This was her job. And I think, 45 of those people are actually sent to jail or given felonies, whatever Randy said. It's already earlier in the video. But yeah, so this was her job. There are no scandals. She is overqualified. She was a district attorney. She was an attorney general, and she was a senate, all in California. She is overqualified. She has a degree in politics and economics, whatever the fuck. That's the damn word. She got a degree. She went to Howard, HBCU, blah blah blah. She's qualified. Whereas Trump is a businessman. Once again, I am not a Democrat. Trump is a businessman. Trump is very entertaining, like I said. He says what we want to hear, but he makes me a little nervous because he's a businessman. He's a salesperson, so he's able to sell these goddamn elections. Okay. For real, this time, I wanted to close off a couple things. For one, I was looking up people that are females, for people who say women are not strong enough to run a country. I was looking at females who were running the country, and you have Elizabeth the Second, right? Then you had plenty of prime ministers from New Zealand and, God dang it, I forget the other countries. Like, there's so many things that I done searched. Give me a second. Okay, hold on. You have the prime minister of Sri Lanka. Ooh, Nikki talked about that. Well, she said she was the most powerful woman in the world or whatever. I don't know. Margaret Thatcher, which was known as the Iron Lady, first female prime minister of the United Kingdom. Angela Merkel was the chancellor of Germany. And she was one of the world's most powerful women leaders. Then you had Jacinda Ardern, prime minister of New Zealand. That's what I was saying. And it says she's known for her empathic leadership and handling of crisis. And then you have Kamala, but she's not a leader. So I wanted to compare, right? Another thing I want to compare in statistics, if I could freaking find it. Jeez, I done looked up so much stuff. Okay, we already know that Queen Elizabeth was the queen for a lot of time. Okay, so what would be crazy is if she has Marilyn Mosby or Kim Foxx be her vice president. Kim Foxx is Cook County State Attorney in Chicago, and Marilyn Mosby is the state attorney for Baltimore. Now, that'd be crazy. It's very important. It's going to be super important who she picks for her vice president. I think it should be a black woman for the sole reason. Obviously, black woman, whatever, you want to make it a movement. But I think it's important and for her not to pick a Caucasian male for her vice president if she gets the nomination in August. I think that'll be life-threatening, because the people that would be against her being a president, I think there would be another attempt. There will be there will be an attempt on her life similar to Trump's in Pennsylvania. It's similar to other presidents, So I think it's important for her to pick someone like her, preferably a dark-skinned black woman. That would be crazy, because if she picks someone that is her mere opposite, I do believe that there will be attempts made, unfortunately. So that's important. That's what I think. Okay, sorry. I am totally going crazy with all this research shit. I'm so over it. A big thing that people are talking about and concerns of Trump's presidency, if he gets reelected, they keep bringing up Project 2025. Is this something that Kamala has brought to the forefront as well? It's Project 2025, saying that we don't want that. So I'm thinking, what is Project 2025? Project 2025 is meaning this is a plan that was, what did they say? It was a blueprint that was, what they said, it was made in 2017. I don't remember. But boom, Project 2025 is, let's read it. It outlines a detailed plan for a potential second term for Donald Trump. This comprehensive policy blueprint created by the Conservative Heritage Foundation includes proposals for the first 180 days of Trump's administration, if he gets reelected. This plan covers various areas, such as dismantling federal agencies and consolidating presidential power. What that means to me, in layman's term, what I'm thinking, that means that the House of Representatives, all that, blah, 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 he wants to have the say-so. Basically, like executively, it shouldn't be voted upon. That's what I think. If I am wrong, please feel free to comment. It says mass deportations and stricter border controls. What that means to me is anybody who is an immigrant, he wants to send them back to where they came from, especially those who are not citizens. And he also wants to, strict on the borders. Don't let nobody in. Okay, he wants to build a wall. Promoting fossil fuels and reducing environmental regulations. He wants to be more self-sufficient with America's, fuel and oil and so on and so forth. And he wants to limit buying overseas. I think that's what that means. Once again, if I'm wrong, please respond. And then eliminating nonpartisan federal employees and replacing them with loyalists. This means to me, he wants to, everybody who's a Democrat in House of Representatives, any senators, stuff like that. He wants to get rid of all Democrats and only have Republicans. He wants Republicans to rule the world. And they are saying that Project 2025 is a plan set in place to become a dictator.
So yesterday, the Supreme Court ruled that the president is immune from criminal prosecution. So I'm going to say something right now that may sound extreme to you, but this is not an exaggeration. Please listen to me very carefully. This decision is a blueprint for dictatorship. This decision lays the groundwork for a president to do whatever they want, whenever they want, to whomever they want. And the only thing standing in the way of that happening is you, your voice, your vote. Okay, let me explain. So according to the Supreme Court, the conservative court that was made possible by Trump's first term in office, according to that court, the president of the United States is now immune from criminal prosecution for actions he takes as a president while in office. So what does that mean? Well, as my sister from the Bronx, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, explained, and I'm paraphrasing, but she said that that decision means that Trump could order the military to kill a political opponent with zero consequences. So this is how democracies in other countries have failed in recent years. It's not by wars, it's not by coups, it's through elected governments using methods to chip away at the power of the people until we have no power at all to hold those governments accountable. So if Donald Trump is reelected, there will be very little that we can do to stop him from using the power of the White House however he wants. There are reasons to feel frustrated with our democracy. I get it. I feel it. We have a long fight ahead of us to have this country really live up to its ideals. But this year, I am telling you, our actual freedom is on the ballot. And I am terrified that the belief that too many of us have that our votes don't matter could mean that one day in the very near future, they actually won't matter at all. Now, I'm not saying this to scare you. I want to inform you. I want to remind you of the power that you do have. Right now, it is not too late. You have power. You can share this video with friends and family and loved ones. I think voting is an act of self-love, of self-care. Voting and volunteering, donating to organizations that fight for democracy. These are the things that we can do, that we have to do to take care of ourselves and our community and each other right now. Please. This country needs you. Your voice matters. Your vote matters. You matter.
That's what they're saying. Yep. That is what they're saying. So there'll probably never be another Democrat anywhere ever again. That's scary.
But even if we don't pull the facts, what I do know is that Project 2025 is a real thing, right? What I do know is that there has been so many antics by the right Republican side to make sure they stop women from having control over their bodies. They stop us from loving who we want to love and marrying who we want to love. They stop us from teaching the real history of America, which includes our truth as black people here in this country. The other thing with Project 2025, this will become a military country, meaning at any given moment, the military can shoot and kill a civilian in the street. God forbid there was ever a George Floyd situation again and we decided to hit the streets and protest. The military can come and shoot us dead and there will be no one to hold accountable because they will have ultimate immunity like they want for police officers. Project 2025 will be the death of our civil rights, the death of the American dream that our forefathers said that belonged to us as well. And it will be the death of so many innocent people that just want to fight for justice. And we cannot allow that to happen. This country will literally be ran like a dictatorship. A dictatorship in America? Those things alone, let's not even get on Medicare, let's not even get on taxes and all of those things. But the problem is that we have to get something different. We need something different. And if something different looks like the face of a Howard University graduate named Kamala Harris, give me something different. I know what the past has been for us. I don't like it. So if something different looks like the face of this woman, I'll take it. And let's see. I mean, what else do we have to go off of? But I stand for something different. I want something different. And that's the bottom line. I want something different. Because I know I don't want Project 2025. I'll take an AKA that went to Howard University all day. Something different. Give me something different. Okay.
That is scary. So that's what Project 2025 is. I hope I was able to simplify some things, summarize some things, say it in layman's terms so that we all can understand. I don't believe I have further things to say. I'm really ready to wrap this up. Yeah. I think that about does it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Once again, if you like this video, if you learned something, please like, subscribe. Go on my Patreon, check it out. Go on my Instagram, check it out. Go on my Twitter, check it out. You know, so on and so forth. Join the YouTube memberships. There is extra things said there, extra lives, extra videos, more content, as well as Patreon, more content, extra content, so on and so forth. So yes, thanks again, everyone. And I hope you have a good day and night, week, whatever. And remember to pay attention and do your own research. All of this, most of this stuff was found on Google and CNN. Fake news. Anyway, I'm sorry. That's what Trump said. That shit just stuck with me. But yes, guys, be blessed. Goodbye.
See on both sides like